let's just letting these air out. That's all. Don't worry, it's all Last-Tech. It goes good together. It plays well together. That is all of our just. They're about done. We've used them all season. Some of them a couple seasons ago. They've been sitting around. We've got an unboxing to do. So we got this from eBay, and then we got this, which is a bunch of little ones in it, and another one from AliExpress. So I just wrapped up editing a Pogue video that I'm going to probably drop tomorrow. And you guys comment below as you're getting to watching this video. Do you guys like the videos every day, or should I slow it down? You know, is it the Bass and Bonsai, or can you not get enough, or what are you guys' thoughts? I've got like backed up footage from when the GoPro was bad. Or not the GoPro, sorry. I got GoPro in my mind because that's what this is. But when my computer was out, so I still have all these different things I'm trying to get like caught up on, because it's basically we've already talked about it here on live streams, and I'm just now getting to putting the videos out of actually out on the water using it. So it's that kind of deal. So anyway, I don't know how this box opens. This was kind of in the, when I was kind of worried about the GoPro, the camera, all of this stuff. I got a little nervous, so I started searching eBay for backup stuff, and I come across this dude right here. And you know, it's one of those like so much or best offer. And you guys know me. You guys know me. I like to wheel and deal, right? So I offered them something, and they took it. So I'm like, well, I guess I'm buying another GoPro. So let's look at what we got. And this was all started me just looking for, you know, different places, mainly to find the different SD cards. And I want to say I gave $85 for this. What in the world is this? I guess that's for one. Battery, wall charger, I guess that's what I'm looking at. So you got a charger, you got a GoPro. Wow, hang on, let me get this. Oh, I can't believe they sent me a GoPro, got a dirty screen. So I want you guys to look at this one. So, oh my goodness, let me, hang on. Okay, so looks to be in good shape. I'll have to try it out. Let's see if it's got a battery. I already got one in it. Now these are supposed to be both GoPro batteries. That's our SD card, and I never actually use the adapter. All I do is I take my GoPro, I got a plug, it's already in my laptop right now. I just plug it in there, download the footage, and then go on about my business. But it says it came with I don't know if that one is a decent brand or not, but 64 gigabyte. We'll just leave it back where they had it for now. There's not one in it. I just wanted to double check, make sure that is an actual GoPro batteries. These are more expensive. You can get those cheaper ones. What I've got, I'll show you mine here in a second. But let's see if it comes on. No SD card. Let's shut the SD. Alright. Let's, and it goes, I don't know why they're designed this way, but it goes in upside down. Let's try it now. File cannot be repaired. Huh. Flip it around. Okay. Let's go to settings. Let's just delete whatever's in there. Okay, now according to this, where they have it set, and I'll have to go through, I can't even remember exactly where I got mine set, but I will reset the settings. You can do a lot with the GoPro if you guys don't know about the Hero. I like this one the best, just because I can double check while I'm out on the water without plugging in anything else. I can just recheck the footage, you know, if I'm trying to do, say, an intro or something I could redo if it came out bad. I can just flip, you know, turn that around and re-watch it, you know, like I used to do in my old, you guys remember the old camcorders, 8mm stuff? Anyway, I know, that's how old I am. So, what was I going to do? Okay, let's grab my stuff, and you guys, anybody got time to read all that? I just figured it out. I've never even looked at a GoPro manual. I just figured it out. So I'm going to show you real quick what I just ended up carrying around. I've got my little necky thing, a chesty, and that kind of stuff. So let me move this out of the way for now. And I've got two dual battery chargers that every once in a while I'm like, oh dude, I taped the instruction manual. Let me move this stuff out of the way for now. This, I don't even know if I have any more of those anyway. So I know this isn't going to be much, because what this is I took the guts out of another case as the zipper went bad, but I like the way it was positioned, and I just kind of made it fit in here. But we've already technically got a backup right here, old nasty one that's just been sitting there. But here's what we've been using. Now I'm going to just show you this. And this broke. I've got a spare up here. But it actually is so much easier that it just slides out, and then once you put it in something to use it, it stays together. So it's actually quicker and easier for me to just do that and then do a battery change and then slide it back like this, instead of the old one. You like the way these are designed, you kind of pry them out a little bit to slide it in and out, and honestly you end up in a hurry and you snap them anyway. So once one, I think this was the second one I broke, and I'm like, just, you know, don't fight it, go with it, and leave it broke like that, where you just slide it off. So anyway, that's why that is there. We do have a backup in case I lose a piece or whatever in the water. This GoPro has been through the ringer. This is a common thing on them. They like, it catches and you end up tearing that. Cosmetic thing, no big deal. But we have bounce this thing around. You guys probably, there's footage out there, I don't know if you've seen the videos where this thing's flopping around. I'm like, oh, I dropped you guys. It's been beat up. Still works fine. What made me, before I could get everything put back on a computer, I realized I had scratched the front, but it actually, for whatever reason, the picture still comes out fine. But I will be retiring this one, switching to what is almost a new one, like way better. Probably roughly the same age, been treated way better than this sucker's been rode hard and put up wet kind of deal. But before I do that, I will go through and double check, do a little discount double check. Let me see which way. We got video, scroll up or down one. Okay, so you can go to the resolution and all that, field of view, and I'll make sure all of mine. I might try to do some more in 4K, but the reason I originally went away from that is it slows the whole process down in doing all the editing, but then it also eats up way more of your storage. So even though I have in this the capabilities, and that's why I just stick with these. Would you shut off? Oh boy, don't do it. Okay, there we go. And I need to reset I like that beeping, and I know it eats up a little battery a little faster, but as you can tell, I got a bunch of batteries. But I like to know what's going on with the beeping and all that, so I will set that. You can change all that too. But with this one, my main one that I use, I probably should just, I know I'm tight. I should just break down and buy another one of these, and this is kind of sticky how it works. But I do like this brand. I've got 3 now. I've never had an issue with them. But the, I don't know, PN-wise, that's a 128, and then I keep with me just in case I run out of footage, and I've got all these extra batteries. Now I've got 2 more. I've got a 16. That's like my last resort. Like, oh my God, how did I go through all of those others and they filled them up, right? So I've got a 32 and then another 64. So with this 64, as long as it works, that'll give me basically what I already have here, right? I got the 128, two of the 64s. You guys, it's math, it's science. So now I'll have basically like having two of these and then that other one as a backup kind of thing. So I will do some small little recording and just make sure everything works before I take it out fishing. Probably this weekend we'll go. I'll probably transfer that one out of there, put this one in that. That is a waterproof case. Just in case everything were to dunk, I could just pull this out and, you know, finish whatever recording kind of deal. And honestly, I don't know how many years that's just set in there. It may be gone, but it doesn't matter now. I don't even remember how this thing works. I quit using this because you have to add like a, I don't know, this is just to go get like underwater footage. It is stuck, hang on. Oh my gosh. In the first few years I was doing videos, I kind of used it a little bit, but then I kind of went away from all that stuff. So this was our first, I think, yeah, this was the first GoPro I bought for the channel, Bass and Bonsai. And you talk about really rode hard and put up wet. Did I leave? And I got a battery right there. Oh my God, that battery is, I'm sure that battery's toast. Oh my God, now it's really toast. Okay, it's a refuel, and yes, it's got a little swell going to it. You can kind of tell when these get hard to slide in and out, they're probably on their way out. But let's just try it. I'm sure it's dead as a doornail. Come on, GoPro. Come on, get in there. You know me. I'll probably slap it on a charger just to check it. Let's see. Oh, I left it. That one's got a cover on it. Come on. Are you telling me my backup is toast? Sometimes you got to give them a little nudging. Sometimes, yeah, dude, it did work. I promise you. When I put it in there a couple of years ago, it was fine. Yeah, so probably a good thing we got this other GoPro, because that dude is toast. I'll double check him with the different battery. Let's use this black one. This was a, you see, you can get these different brands like all over. I think I've got a couple different brands. Castar, Power, like all these different ones. But I still like this because what turned me off, if you guys remember we fished with Bonsai Guy, and he got, I think it was a GoPro 8. And it had this like internal battery, and once it was dead, you were done. Or what he said anyway. I'm like, well, I don't want a new GoPro. Dude, that is done. Okay, so that's what, time to retire. Anybody want to buy a nice GoPro? But as you can tell, we kind of did the same thing on this one. We ended up cracking it. Right, these are kind of weak points on them, and we found them on the few we've had over the years. And I had also I started out with this one, a Hero 4 Silver, and I had a GoPro 3 without the thing, and I found out real quick I liked the idea of being able to recheck, you know, just certain things at any given time. So yeah, now we'll do the transfer thing. I won't show you guys all that. We're going to get to our unboxing. But I don't know. I may try to go, if I know I'm going for a short amount of time, I may go ahead and turn it to 4K, try to get some a little clearer images on stuff. Or if I'm going to put together a, like, not use my phone, but use the GoPro to, instead of out on the water fishing kind of deal, I might play with that a little bit more, since we do have a faster computer now. It is, the videos are like way simpler to do. But for now, I'm just going to move. Oh my God, give me that. Quit it. I'm just going to move all of this. And yeah, I remember the one with the swell mark. It's bad, but it may be fine. I'll check it. Don't need that really. But let me just move all this out of the way. Give me a minute. Okay. Out of the way. Oh my. All right. Who's ready to see some cheap AliExpress baits that aren't quite as cheap as they used to be because of Trump's tariffs? That dirty Donald Trump. That king. What does that king think he's doing? It wasn't like he was elected by half of the United States or anything. Anyway, don't get me started on that. Don't get me started on Democrat. Don't get me started on my former party of Democrats. Do not start me on those guys. Do your research. Do your own research. Don't drink the Kool-Aid is all I'm going to say about that. Here we go. Booms Fishing. I know what that is. If you guys remember right, I bought that little retractable deal. You guys seen that already? This one was a deal. I'm pretty sure that's what this is. Let's see. Booms. Let me see. Oh my God, there's tape. So from Booms Fishing, we have that. Wait, there's more. We also have that. So for the low price, believe it or not, I don't know how good these are going to be. This was only $4, shipped and everything. It was like 3 something, 85. I don't know. It sounded so cheap. I'm like, is that for the scissors too? They may be junk, but they are big grip, little, and they are serrated. I don't know how long they'll last, but I figured for $4. And I saw this before I ordered just the red one by itself. I kind of like the overall design of the red one better. But this was blue. It matches our tackle box. I will probably leave the red one clipped with my little, clippers. And then I'll probably go ahead and rig this one up also, just so I can, you hook it here. Just so I have them both out there. There's no reason why I can't just have both, It already weighs like 35 pounds. What's an extra, couple ounces, right? I've had that coming off once. So let's check our little, I don't know how long this will last either, but I figure for $4, they're giving me different stuff to, be out on the water cutting. You never know when you're going to have to take one of these little dudes and just trim him up. Just trim him up. Slimline him. Just slimline him up to put on your little... Cut him up that fast, just a little extra slimline, put him on a little mini max. It does, in my opinion, I can feel the difference. It just kind of frees up the bait. I know. You guys didn't need to see that, but I'm showing you. You cannot have too many pairs of the serrated scissors. They're better like for braid, but they're also better that plastic doesn't slide out. As you try to use regular scissors, and it's just harder to do. Anyway, I still like the Bass Pro ones so far are the better ones. I've got the one, we've got AliExpress now. I've got Ozark Trail, the orange ones from Walmart, and then I got the black $3.99 ones from Bass Pro, and the Bass Pro ones just seem to overall get the job done better. So anyway, out of that big package, we got 1, 2, 3. That's heavy. What is that? Oh my God! Oh, I know. That's tungsten. I bet. What was that? 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. That was a different items from AliExpress. So let me move these back out of the way, just showing you guys there are a bunch of different packages. Let's just leave the heavy one and I'll get to him first. Let's just do the heavy. Let's start with the heaviest and go to the whateverest. And then also, you guys that are new to the channel or new to watching me in the live streams, comment below those comments, and then thumbs up, hit the like button, all that kind of stuff helps Bass Bonsai. Trust me, we need all the help we can get. We've been around for, I'm guessing 8 years. I don't even know for sure. Somewhere around 8 years, maybe over 1,500 videos, and we've only got like 11,000 subscribers. Oh, that is lead. I don't even know myself sometimes. I'm too tight to buy tungsten. Those are lead. These are my disposable. I figured I'd try out some little free rigging and different stuff, so I just ordered those from AliExpress. I cannot remember how much these were. You guys know the deal. AliExpress, I ordered these like 2 weeks ago. I don't remember what happened yesterday. Oh, I do. We caught fish. But I don't remember what happened last week as far as what I did and didn't order. I don't remember what size I ordered. 15 piece. Boy. Oh, well. It says 7 grams. Is that right? I was shooting for 1/4 ounce. Yeah, it's 7 on them. That's it. All right. There's number 1. Let's keep going. Uh-oh, this sounds good. This sounds fishy. I don't even know why I need a knife. This sounds... Oh, it's more lead. No, wait, no, this ain't lead. Well, it's lead, but it's jig heads. So these I've just been curious about. I ordered one weight one time just to try them. If you guys follow the channel, you know I've kind of been on this like the smaller jig head, more finessey, but like jig heads that do their own work. They kind of make the baits, give them a shimmy or something, even though we don't have forward facing or none of that. So these little heads just kind of look cool. So I figured I'd try these because they were small. I figured I'd get the small size. You guys know the deal. I kind of into this little 275 swim baits and stuff. That's 3.5 grams. Clip onto that. You know, anything that looks like a chatterbait, you guys know I'll get it. Like, dude, that looks like a mounted chatterbait blade, right? So we'll just try that little dude. I guess should I grab something for comparison? Let me just show you in case you guys are curious about that size-wise. Hang on. So, because they're all going in this box right here from a little swim. So let me just show you a couple things real quick. This unboxing, that's why my videos last forever. So let's set that up there. Okay, let's compare it to, here's the Great Lakes Finesse. It's like basically the smallest thing they have. And that dude is smaller. So that is a very little, almost crappie-esque type things. And they do, I believe this is a smallest size. So I'm just wanting one, and I can use it. I'll utilize it. So this is the Dirty Jigs. So the head, so I'm guessing, and I'm sure it told me what size that was, but these should work just fine, like on the 275, and you could even cut that part off and then nudge it up, you know, make it flush with the head. So yeah, I'm liking that. I'm going to try them, and then I'll decide if I want to try, because I think they do have a little bit bigger size. And then just look at that. Oh, well, there's already a spot right there for them. Wow, that was simple. If everything in life was that easy, right? And those, I don't know if that'll be able to tell you what to get. See that right there? Super lures, swim bait, jig heads. You type in any of that kind of stuff and it probably will bring those up. And any store at any given time could have a cheaper price. And I'm sorry, but I forget. I don't even remember one in a different box. Okay, let's move this out of the way. I'm going to have a mess down here by the time we get done with these packages. I don't even know where the top or bottom of this is. We're in a hurry now. Let's keep going. What is that? More... Oh, dude, are these still too big? If you guys remember, I ordered like these crazy 10-aught that are too big for all my swim baits. These were pretty cheap. These are supposedly 8-aught, I think. I just wanted to get a few different size. Man, those things still look awful big. But I got a pretty big freaking bait to put on them. Hang on. I think I got one right here. I'm not going to mount it or none of that stuff, but I'm just trying to find a hook size that I think works. That, it almost looks too small. The 10-aught looks too big. That may be, yeah, that's probably the size I want. But anyway, that's what those are for. I'm about ready to give up on all the swim bait stuff. I should have been. I'll be honest. I kind of enjoy throwing them. I've got the tequila back rack is awesome combo I got going there with that, and then they're fun to throw. But I'll be honest, those first ones I bought and the first few videos I put out, they were like the 5 or 6 inch Megabass knockoffs I was getting for like $3.50. Those are still like some of my favorite to throw. They're easy, they get bit, and you don't have much money invested in. You're kind of swim baiting already, kind of deal. And then I wanted to try these. So here, and I forgot I didn't order any sinkers. I don't think. I'll just go up to Rogers and get some of the cheap 1/4 ounce. These may be too small. So I got these for any of my bigger soft plastics. That says 3/0, but man, that's screaming bigger than 3/0. Maybe not. Now these are supposed to be those, yeah, PTFE coated. So basically, like what the Thunder Cricket, that silky gray kind of slip coating, right? Oh boy, come on. Look at them. I like these little, oh, that ain't a good keeper thing. But anyway, and these were cheap too. These were not that expensive. So I figured I'd get them and try them. They got a little flex to them. It's definitely not Zowire. I'll put it to you that way. It's not Zowire, but it does have supposedly a slicker coating. It may be just all for naught. But I got this is the ones I was wanting, but that may be too small. Because I basically need it for my baby brush hogs. I need one that is too big, and then I think that's too small. I don't know. We'll look more into that. These were considered 3/0. 10-piece for worms, coated. Those are number 1s. What did I get the number 1s for? I got the number 1s for something else, but it's escaping me what I got the number 1s for. Let's just go with another small package. Maybe it'll come to me what I got them smaller. Oh boy, here we go. Here we go. I ordered these and I already have one, and the pink is shut off. Look how big that thing starts out, kind of looking that crazy long skirt. These are roughly the size. I've compared them before. They're basically an AliExpress version of a Mini Max. But the pink ones, I only had the one, and Charles was doing pretty good with it, so I'll probably keep another one for me for a spare, and then I'll get that one to Charles just so he'll have one. He doesn't have any pink chatterbaits, just for that. You know, there's those times when that color has a little magical thing. I don't have any footage to even think about putting out because we'd already stopped recording, and since I was having computer problems anyway, I was like, well, we just, didn't worry about it. But then these dudes, Charles lost one right off the bat. I originally gave one of these to Charles to use, and you're probably asking, well, why'd you get so many if the blade fell off of it? These are only like $1.50 each. And this color right there got smacked as soon as Charles cast it out. I think he caught a fish or lost. I don't know. It was crazy how insane it was working right off the bat. Once I gave Charles, because I started using it, the other one, but yeah. I was like, here, Charles, use one of these. And it was the cheapest I had. And it shows why. But I didn't have it to look at. I was like, I'll just order a few more, and then we'll see what's up with them. Kind of like they're like the what-you-call-its is why they pop off. And I'll be honest, looking at it, I don't know how. I can tell you right now, that needs changed out. That needs changed to like a little small. But, I mean, it'll work. But in my opinion, it would need a little bit smaller one. But that color is a very good color. The hook looks ridiculous. But what happened with Charles, he came back with just a blade like we were having with the Nobi baits. But I'm not sure what went wrong. Because honestly, that one looks like it's put together pretty good. I don't know. Anyway, I got probably a couple of these for Charles. I'll have a couple more. I don't know where I'm going to put them. No room. One thing I do know, my chatterbait box is stuffed. And it's actually right there. Full of baits. I'm not sure where... I'm not sure if the top or the bottom is where the lead comes out and then which one bends. I'm guessing it's right there. But I don't know. I was trying to pull. I don't know how Charles meant. I may just destroy one just to see how to get the others. Because we don't want to lose fish. I mean, it's only $1.50 bait, and that's why I bought 4. In case they just get destroyed. But this color does work, but the hotter pink doesn't seem to work as well as the more bubblegummy type pink. In my opinion, the bite we got on that day, because the other one I had, I don't know why I'm taking every one of these out of the package, but I am. Charles, you're just going to have to get a used one that's already out of the package. And you can tell by the paint and how cheap and just funky these are. There's a reason why they're only $1.50. But they get hit. I don't know what our hookup ratio would be or none of that. But yeah, Charles will probably get that little package, and I'll keep those for myself. All right, we got one more, and then I'll let you guys get on with your life. Whatever you want to do, go do it. Me, I don't know what I'm going to do. Check that video. Ooh. Check that video, make sure it went through, put it on YouTube, I guess, for tomorrow, and then I'll try to come home tomorrow night and do the same thing with another one of our videos or whatever. So I was wanting to get these to, what do I do with the... Because they instantly, when I saw these forever ago on AliExpress, and I want to say this is the smallest size you can get of these, but they reminded me of these guys from the Swammers from X-Zone. So they look to be, we're going to pull one out. So 10 piece. Oh, dude, what did I get for these? They're breaker swim baits. I don't even remember now the price. Colors aren't really as much. I mean, this color should work. Oh my God. Let's get these staples out of there. Let's get the staples out. Throw them in the trash so I don't step on them. I'm coming down here later tonight doing something. That's always fun. I got enough stuff to worry about stepping on. So let's keep that guy out there for a reference. Because I'll be honest, the Meredith baits are probably my favorite swim baits, just for the durability over all of the others that I've tried, the Keytech or the Strike King. That blister pack is like way too overdone, but I guess it holds them. Let's get one out and just take a gander at it. Hold it up next to, so yeah. Looks okay. You won't know until you just rig one on and get out and fish it and see what it, does it get bit? How long does it last? That Swammer's kind of got some give to it. Let's see what this dude. Yeah, he's got some give to him. One thing about Yum, those Meredith baits I talked about, Yum, and there's a few others. They tend to, and these swammers seem to be this way. Like they just kind of hold their shape. Some baits, like the second you lay them a weird way, and then like it doesn't take but a day or two or the full week. You know, you went fishing, you threw it back in your box, you pull out the next, and it just is already deformed in a shape that you can't keep to hold. And I mean, they all will do that, but you just will find some baits that are like way better than others about holding their shape. And that's one thing about the big A stuff seems to also be kind of like that. So anyway, that's pretty much it. I'll try these out. Hopefully that color is good enough to get hit. I don't need to buy any other colors if like all of a sudden they start falling apart quick, because this one, I don't even know, not a ton of fish, but if you can see, it's got a lot of kind of bites and stuff, and it's still basically good to go, and it's actually paid for itself. I could pull it off right now, put a new one on it, and I wouldn't feel like, man, those baits, I'm spending too much because they fall apart. Like, and I'm not knocking Strike King. I've even heard Greg Hackney say it about how fast, he's like have a lot of packs of that. Rage Craw is just off. And then so far, even though I love them, these guys, the Kamikaze swim-ons, and it's in that video I just edited. I had it happen there too, but every time I go out with these, it never fails. I lose one or two like fairly early on just by a dink or short strike type deal, and then it just lost its the rear appendages. And then the other downside to these, and one or two of you guys commented right off the bat when I started talking about swim-ons about how that little hole will hook into the hook on your whatever whatever you put it on as a trailer. It'll circle back and like doink, and it just never fails. And it does happen. Like this will get caught up. Maybe not the littler ones right here, the 375s, but the bigger ones, the ones I like, and then cutting them down. I found that out. I like the bigger ones better, and then cut them down to the smaller chatterbaits, or whatever you're using them for. I like to start with the biggest ones, even though you get a few less. It's just I think a little better trailer. But they you can help yourself by stopping it right before it hits the water, but you'll still end up coming back. They're just those. It's going to hook on the hook. It's just inevitable. So those two reasons, I'm kind of like up in there. I got a love-hate relationship going with them, but they definitely, you put those on the back of your bait, and I wouldn't say they get hit way more, but they do work. They are fish attracting machines. So that's it. Nothing like groundbreaking and all that, but just some stuff I'd ordered after the little tariff thing. These stayed roughly the same price. I think these roughly did. And those, I think almost everything I ordered hadn't really gone up in pricing. If you're interested in, let me move this stuff. Oh my God, hang on. I have been keeping track of some stuff. I probably won't order any more of them, but in case you were interested. So yeah, here's the one I like the main, that pinky deal. That is that Jackie Hama in a 3/8 ounce. Those dudes, just that one right there was good for me. The one Charles, I don't know what I did with it. The one Charles is doing good with. Oh, and I forgot all about. I had it. It was buried down in my tackle box back when I had the old tackle box. So there's the one that Charles was doing damage with. I wanted to compare that because, hang on, we'll do a little side note right here. Yeah, I must have already cut that down some because that looks like that skirting is even way longer now. But these are roughly the same size as the little Mini Maxes. I've already held them up in other videos. The hooks are pretty much the same size, same kind of, they're pretty stout hooks. You can catch a pretty big fish. This is almost like it, but I'm not as big a fan of these so far. But that little dude definitely works in that bigger one I showed you. But the main thing what I opened this up for originally was, and those are in there because they're right around that mini max size, but they're not quarter ounce. They're a little heavier. They're maybe not quite 3/8, but they're up there. What did I get this out for? Oh, uh, just a little heads up. So far, I'm not overly impressed with these guys. The mini copperheads. I just, I don't know. I haven't given up on them because I haven't tried them a lot, but they didn't just jump out at me like, oh, those are the most awesome thing in the world that I've ever tried kind of deal. They don't give me that vibe yet. I'm still trying them. Where I'm looking for, it's not in there. Where are my little dudes? They're probably in here. Oh my God. It's just like all these right here. These little, I need to go ahead and put some time with these when I get out on any sort of a chatterbait bite and just see what I think about. These are the slobber knocker knockoffs. I still kept them around just because I think they may have a little extra juice in the colder water, but the thump is less than a jackhammer. But now I got all these thunder crickets, and they definitely have a little less thump. So maybe I need to put these guys up against the thunder crickets and then see how they get through the grass too. Because I haven't really put these through the paces 100% yet. But while we're on the subject, these guys right here that you can get from AliExpress. They're kind of a knockoff of that Jackal Super Brake Blade. They don't have the thing on the bottom. They just got a hook keeper. Right? So they're made pretty good. A little lighter wire, so you should technically be able to use a little lighter rod. But I like these little, I guess those are either titanium or whatever little guards with the little, plastic coated deal so you don't jab yourself with them kind of deal. But I haven't given up on them yet. They were like $6 when I got them, and now they went to like 9. They were 11 or 12 when the tariff thing first started, and now they're down there again. They're like $6.50 or 7 something. So if you're thinking about you wanted to try these, I do kind of like them. Like they ride, they don't tend to want to jump and ride up. I don't think as much as like what these guys do. They're roughly. Actually, this may be even a heavier bait than these guys. This has got a little stouter hook. Those mini copperheads, they're roughly in that same ballpark of an area. They're bigger than, I'd call them a bigger overall bait. Technically, a bigger profile than your. Here's a. Well, that's a quarter ounce, but there's a mini max. So the hook shanks longer, up a little bit more, definitely less of a wire though than this. This dude's like a beast of a hook. That dude's a little light wire. Honestly, 10-pound test, you should be able to get by with these guys right here. Even with that weed guard isn't super stout. These guys are about right up there with the mini maxes though. Those kind of just, you go very fast, they just want to come up. You go to pop them out of something, they want to jump up out of the water kind of thing. In my opinion, these will still stay down somewhat. They're just a difference in how they're designed. But I have not given up. I need to keep those guys together so I can keep track of where they're at. I haven't given up on all of that stuff. I'm almost to the point of giving up on these because I never even pull them out anymore. Because when I do, I throw these and then it's usually never like I've never felt like I've had a monster hit on them. But whether it's a dink or whatever, every time I get bit on one of these guys, I feel like the hook sets are horrible. Because the point of these is you can rig them up, with that exposed type trailer, and throw them wherever you want. Basically, you got a chatterbait blade attached to a metal head with a swivel and a skirt, and then so you got this. There's a lot going on, and so far I tried these years ago when I first saw them on AliExpress, and I didn't like them then. I got them again to try, and so far I don't like them. So that's probably going to be an empty spot for other stuff because I'm packed in here with all this stuff now. I got an empty spot up here is where I like to keep the. I've got soft plastics here that I can just grab. Like I can just pull this box out and grab some trailers to slap on them without even digging in anywhere else. Is kind of was the plan with this go around with this tackle box. Have a majority of everything I, on hand kind of deal. But I'm overloaded. Like I need to basically piss or get off the pot with some of these baits. Either include them in the deal and using them, hurry up and get them done testing, get them out of this box so I make more room for stuff I do use. Because I'll go out there and this whole thing here, I'll pull out. Here are my, so like now I've even made these Screaming Thunder Crickets. All right, I got those stuffed in here on top of my little bitty chatterbaits. I still got these little, Mad Bites that I need to just get them out of there because now I'm kind of doing what I was going to do with those and these slobber knockers. I've kind of done now with between the Thunder Crickets, the Mini Max, whether they're the Evo or the regular Mini Max. Then I've got the big blades up here, Thunder Crickets, and I might even go ahead and, even though I love them, I still love my Z-Man Originals. I may just go ahead and get them gone, right? Because I do think I like the, between the big blades and the Thunder Crickets and then our AliExpress knockoffs, I don't need them, for one thing. You don't really need them because I like the idea. I'll be honest. For the price, if you're going to just go on Tackle Warehouse and order baits, the Z-Man Original is still hard to beat. But if you're a thrifty shopper like I am, like hopefully some of you guys are after watching this channel, you can go to eBay. You may have to order a dozen of them, but you can get a dozen Thunder Crickets for $60. That's $5 each. And I do believe that this Thunder Cricket is a better overall build than the Z-Man Original. You can do stuff too, either or, but I think the fact I do believe that is a better hook in my opinion than the Z-Man Original. The Z-Man Original, do I have an original close by, not buried? Oh, well here's a funny story about this one. You guys heard this story. I only gave $1 for this. It was in the bin at Walmart. It must have fallen out of the package or something kind of deal. But they had like this, I don't know. It was thrown in. They had a bin of like clearance stuff, and it was just laying in there. And I think it's 3/8 of an ounce. But see, that's still a good hook. These will rust faster than most of these other newer styles. So, but as long as you don't leave trailers on them and, don't totally misabuse them, it's still very hard to beat the Z-Man Original. But they come, honestly, if you get them this way through eBay, you're going to have about the same price in them. But I think this is just a touch better. And for whatever reason, I still have not figured this part out. These Thunder Crickets just tend to get through grass better without catching as much. So I feel like when you're running chatterbaits and you want to let them, for years I've always tried to stay out of the grass more so than once I started throwing the Thunder Crickets, I realized, I can let these dig a little and then pop them, and they kind of clean out just better. And I don't know why. The only thing I can figure, because it seems like the Z-Mans, all of them do it, whether it's the Mini Maxes, the Originals, the jackhammer knockoffs, but they all have this same blade that's kind of squared off. And if it's something to do with this, has more completely rounded edges, and maybe that's why they've designed it like this. Maybe they did a little more research than me. I don't know. But what I found is when you're in a little deeper water, that 5/8 is perfect. But then if you get in shallow water, the 1/2 ounce is it's iffy. I found that these, and I call them screaming thunder crickets, but a 5/8 where it's too much. When I took some of the weight off of these 5/8 ones, I just like the way I'm fishing those in the grass I'm in right now. The depths seems like everywhere I go that I can just run them through there. And if you guys listen, this dude is. So there's the original Screaming Thunder Cricket that is just chewed. I showed him in the video last night. He's probably not got a long life left with me because I misabuse this dude. So I'm either going to end up not checking my line enough or something. But that dude has been through the ringer, and he just keeps screaming. I need to find a scream, like something off of the Thor Love and Thunder, those deals that scream. I need to find a screaming sound to add when I cast this guy or something. Screaming Thunder Crickets, they're out there. The only 5 in existence I own. But then the Z-Man Custom and the Pros, they're all still excellent, but there's something about, I think the blades on the Thunder Crickets is why they just, I don't know. They, in my opinion, for just the way I kind of go through fish, I guess. Because if you guys have ever fished grass with like rattle traps and chatterbaits, you know that a chatterbait, there's just times where like the rattle traps won't work. Like the minute you touch grass, they're just like bound up, and you're like, oh god, I'd like it. It's just so hard to do. A lot of times you switch something else, and then it even gets bad enough to where you almost need to use like that's when a swim jig or something, like a very slender thing. You might be able to run it through something without getting gunked. And it just seems like that Thunder Cricket, on whatever weight you're using, the heavier ones you can get down there and you can actually pull them harder, and the weight keeps them in the water column, but it lets you jerk harder and just clear the grass out without like just yanking the bait completely out of the water kind of thing. I think it's a combo of, because I don't think the Z-Man even make a 5/8. I think they jump right to 3/4. I'm not sure. I don't remember. They used to have a bunch of different sizes. Anyway, that's that. So a lot of stuff still going on with these baits. Feel free. Oh, let me see who's talking. Let me read some of these deals. If you have any questions about any of these chatterbaits, I wouldn't consider myself a pro or professional, but as far as someone with a lot of knowledge on a lot of different chatterbaits, throwing them side by side, I don't know of anybody that's just went out and thrown that many different chatterbaits a lot. So let's see what you guys comment. What's going on? We got Bruce, Dave, Michael, and Provocation 4. Oh, there's Brew Tank. Shows up at 8:34. I don't even know what time it is right now. Yeah, chatterbaits and Chipotle. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should get Chipotle, take it out on the water, and eat it. No. Brew Tank, he got Fireball. Except he didn't get him out this week in the trailer. He got looks awesome. Yeah, well, I've replaced Fireball with the Screaming Thunder Cricket. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to do it, but it's already popped in my head because I was looking and I saw if you guys, Brew Tank, I know you watched Fireball's last ride video, right? That was just insane. I didn't even mean that to happen, but that was such a struggle, and then I caught one. That was like the week before I decided to ship Fireball to you anyway. What I thought about doing is making a new Fireball and using, so I thought about making a Screaming Fireball. And I've also thought about making a Screaming Black and Bluegill, because this dude has been a letdown. So I thought about putting this on, I don't know if that head could be cut out enough or not, because that's only a 1/2 ounce, but it's got way too much material. But I may just cut that skirt off, reapply it to one of my Thunder Crickets, after I paint the head like a different color, and make a Screaming Black and Bluegill, and then Screaming Fireball. This is just the one we put that peanut butter and jelly live rubber stuff. Charles one day was tearing me up on a bait that looked just like that, and he had a Zinkers on the back. I want to say June bug Zinkers, or maybe it was a peanut butter and jelly Zinkers. But man, that dude was catching them. I'm like, wow. I was like, I've got those, but I had this rigged up, took it back off, had it on a jig, and didn't have one of these. I'm like, I got it back off and put it. I'm like, I'm carrying one of those. I never plan on getting that out unless I'm fishing with Charles and he pulls that one of his back out. So a little brief history, and then we're out of here, guys, and be looking forward to other stuff. But back in the day, I'm just going to show you guys. I still think, even though my favorite color is a bluegill color on a chatterbait, I still think that the majority of bass are thinking they're hitting a crawdad when they hit a chatterbait. It's just in my head. Because when I started fishing chatterbaits, we tried to had chartreuse and white, brown, but as I kind of just got more, I don't know, like I felt I kind of could get a sense for the time and place to throw chatterbaits, which is all the time. But no, this color in the Z-Man original. Now it was more. I started out. It was like a yellow, and then they changed it to I want to say it's Bayou Craw. They called it Cajun or Bayou. I can't remember craw, but that's basically the color. And it was originally more just a yellow, not a goldish yellow type fleck stuff. But that was my favorite chatterbait color with a donkey punch. There was a couple colors, but donkey punch, smalley beaver was like my favorite way to fish, and I just threw it around wood, grass, just anytime I saw something in the water in fairly shallow water, I would throw a chatterbait generally, and it was like game on. And then I did kind of jack around with a little bit of black and blues, and then black and blue wasn't necessarily my favorite color, but it was a color that also worked, right? I like the darker colors, more crawdaddy type colors, and I had a few other I always had a white one, or white and chartreuse, just for them days where they wanted bright. But then when I switched to that gold blade, it seemed like it was and I don't think the Cajun Craw, it was always just a silver blade. When I switched to the gold blade on the black and blue, and it was always a darker black and blue like this. It wasn't until just a couple years ago that I went away from that. This used to be my favorite for this was probably several years. This was a few years. And then in the last couple years, I'd actually liked it with adding a little bit more of a blue to the bait. But I really still like this with just the blue. So mainly the tail, and then a little bit of that brighter, would flash inside the skirt kind of thing. So this year, that color right there has not really impressed me. It's definitely, and it just figures once you have like 15 of, a couple variances of that color, it's not going to work as well. But this color, I hardly, every once in a while, I just pull this one out. These are just kind of like those spare backups. This year, for me, I've tried the other, maybe you'll see in some of these videos, like even some of the whites and the crappie, or these spot removers is my favorite whitish color now. Not that one. He's just in there with them because he's white. But the spot remover color, and I think this is the actual, he's a little beat up now. That's the actual jackhammer, 3/8 ounce. Those others are knockoffs, and this is, I forget what they call that color, but that color is not as good in my opinion as spot remover. You need the dirtier water. There's a few places I go that it gets dirty enough that color is actually a little better. But these bluegill, it's not even these guys. The bluegill colors have seemed to stand out. Since we're going down memory lane here, let's finish off with, oh boy. Now, I do have Fireball, not the bait. I restocked on Fireball, but I didn't get it out tonight. But I was going by Walgreens, and I stopped and got pop. They have Diet Coke for like $6.99 a 12-pack. So I got some pop, and I got some Fireball. So let's look at this dude. I don't even know where. There's my new spot remover. I kind of made that. That is not a spot remover you could buy from Strike King. You got to get the mouse and then put their spot remover skirt on the mouse, and that is a little brighter. It's going to get a little lower. So those are going to be kind of a little shallower water. And then that 5/8, I figured just a little brighter wouldn't hurt to get down there more. But let me go through the little cycle what we went through. So right now it's this dude. This dude's king, not Donald Trump. Where did he go? That's not really the one, but we'll use him. That's the skirt. So if you guys remember right, we got Neo, wherever Neo's at. And this color, the Bluegill 2, was just my favorite color bluegill skirt that we picked up. And we even had the Bluegill 2 jig for a while until I lost it. Dirty jigs, and dirty jigs makes the skirts. And this color seemed to kind of work, but when I went and did my shootout, oh, there's the shootout video, the one that actually worked. So there's my bigger one. I need to start throwing him that little heavier 1/2 ounce. The hotter summertime, these 3/8 don't work as good as the 1/2 ounces or the 5/8 cut down or the 5/8, in my opinion. But that first earlier spring, they're better. But when I did the little shootout video comparing all these skirts early on, that color just kicked in. And then we put that purpley Junebug Magic on the back, or Zinker's Junebug or whatever. But this color, just that day, it couldn't be beat. But that was the only day. Since then, that color has seemed to have gone to the wayside. This color, if you add an orange Zinkers, and they're wanting the orange Zinkers, that Neo worked several different times. But most times now, when I go out, it's just a more, if you can tell, the heads and the color of the skirts are a more natural green pumpkin-y bluegill color, not quite as loud as those, but then with well, either two trailer, but kind of dark, that dark kamikaze swim on in the Junebug Magic, or I think it's Junebug Magic. And then I also did pretty good yesterday with the green pumpkin, purple and gold. This right here, I still got it. I cut it down. That color right there also works, but it's kind of that darker deal, and I don't know that. And I've got several of these in a couple little variations rigged up now. But if you told me I had to go catch a bass on a chatterbait, I would probably go with something. I'd probably go with that. I ain't gonna lie, that purple kamikaze swim on, and it would either be this dude or it might possibly be this dude. If you told me I was in 6 foot grass down about 6 foot or anything deeper, I'd go with that 5/8. Anything shallower, 6 foot or shallower, I'd go with the Screaming Thunder Cricket. So anyway, and that's what I'm kind of now. I'm getting in. I got so many. I'm kind of finding the little niches where I think they work better. 1/4 ounce for that way crazy as shallow as you want to get. I briefly showed it in the video. Like, you can just creep these things like in this much water coming across grass. Like, it's insane how just these things will just be up there. They're just, loud and proud, right? Not super loud. That thing doesn't chatter too much, but man, they do work good for that. And early, like I said, that early when their fish are looking up and really feeding, all those kind of baits work. And the 3/8 ounce and Neo and all that. But then when they get down and dirty, what I call down and dirty, that's when, in my opinion, these Thunder Crickets have kicked in for me, because I can get them in that down and dirty and fish them a little nastier, right? So anyway, a little over an hour video unboxing. Hopefully you guys like that video. Be looking forward to the GoPro footage. Probably won't look any different than it already does now. I may, because a few of them videos looked a little funny. And some of these live streams, I've tried, hopefully they ran Google Fiber in. We may try to get that to where these will be crystal clear also. But it's all just about, it's science. And anyway, I'm anxious to I'm going to try to, I know, I'm not making any promises, but I'm going to try to be more careful with this GoPro. Keep it fresh. keep it good. And you guys comment if you guys are using these action cameras, GoPros and stuff. What do you guys use out there making the videos? Because I'll be honest, here we're just using a Motorola smartphone that actually they keep telling me I'm ready due for an upgrade. But this phone has a case, a very thin case, no screen protector, none of that. I've had it, what, a year, two? I don't know. I've dropped it. I don't know how many times. Maybe not as much as I've dropped a GoPro, but nothing's cracked, nothing's jacked up. It just does work. So I'm like, I don't even know if I want to jack with that right now. Like, it gets the job done. I know you should get the Google Pixel 2, get the, I don't know, iPhone 37 or whatever they're up to now, or the new. My favorite phone ever was a Note 4, but I got it wet. They were like a white. I think they were white without a case, just a white phone. They were kind of bigger, bulkier, but man, Note 4, I just like that. It got wet. It's a long story. It wasn't Fireball involved, but it was some drinking. And this isn't my fault. I did go to sleep down at the lake in a trailer, and I woke up in a thunderstorm, and the trailer leaked, and me and my phone and the bed I was laying on were wet, and the Note 4, it never recovered. I did. I'm fine now. But, yeah, so that was probably my favorite phone that I've ever owned, was that Note 4 while it worked. But it went out. I probably should have tried tracking down another one, but guess what? I had a Note 5 already available, so I just went to the Note 5 and then went, this phone kind of sucks compared to the Note 4. And then I went on a little thing with a few different brands of phones, and I'll be honest, they all suck. I can't make myself like all the girls have the iPhones, and I can't make myself like those. I'm more of the Android type deal. And so far, this Hello Moto has done pretty good. It's not great at everything, but it does everything, and it keeps working. All right, guys, I got to go. Thanks for watching. Get out and go basketball. I'd be looking forward to, in the morning, the full pogue, I think is what I call it, birth of the Screaming Thunder Cricket, because that's where that little clip of me catching one on the Screaming Thunder Cricket, first time I got it out and used it, but then you'll see me using almost everything I just showed you just now. I think you'll see me using this guy, the Core Tackle Swim Jig. We get a few on it, some rattle trap footage, and then and then at the end, I think it was this guy. It was either this one or the one that doesn't have the gold blade on the Tequila Baccarat. I get on a little bite right at the end when everything else had shut down. But anyway, look for that video. We caught quite a few fish, and it's a good little video overall. See you guys later. Wait a minute. Hang on, somebody said something. The Spin Polar Breaker Shad is really good. Caught a 52 centimeter European perch on it. Fished on a megabass underspin. Okay. And you guys comment below if you think I ought to change the name of the channel to Chatterbaits and Chipotle. Speaking of Chipotle, I'm eating Chipotle tomorrow night. I usually do. I think we will. But I usually try to eat Chipotle on Tuesday nights. But sometimes I'll go to Chipotle and somebody else got something else going on. And then somebody else wants Chipotle. And I'm like, well, let's just double up on Chipotle. I'd have no problem eating Chipotle 2 nights in a row. You know, call me crazy. And we went to, me and Valencia went to Taco Bell last night. It was like $28. I'm like, we could have just went to Chipotle. It's like $24. Of course, we got chicken nuggets with the Mike, some kind of crazy hot sauce. That stuff's pretty good. We got the 10-piece chicken nuggets to share the wealth with everybody else. We got the steak loaded nacho fries. One of those was a meal. I don't know why I told the meal, but or combo. I didn't need the combo. I was just going to get those 2 things to try. Valencia was one actually wanting Taco Bell, and she got, I don't even remember what she got. I think she just got a taco and nacho fries. She got some kind of little thing. But it was like $27 at Taco Bell. We could add Chipotle. Their honey what is that? Chipotle honey chicken. Man, that stuff's pretty good. I still wish they get back with the chorizo, and I do not like their chicken. Their regular chicken, not a fan anymore. Their steak isn't bad, but I'll be honest. Once when they go away from their, spicy chicken of the month of this season or whatever, I usually just avoid it until they pop out with something else. But chorizo is my favorite. Every once in a while, I'm not a vegan or nothing, but I'll get their sofritas or whatever. But it used to be not as, it's like runny gunk now. I just But you got to get sour cream, right? You got to get sour cream. Corn and sour cream are staples on your Chipotle. I get a bowl. The burrito, it doesn't. What I get does not fit in the tortilla. Like, you can't do that. You got to get it in a bowl, and you got to get a large bag of chips, not a small bag, a large bag of chips, and then you eat it almost. You don't stir it up. You eat it just like almost like it's nachos kind of thing. You just dip into that thing, right? And then when I go to, there's a Mexican place right up the road here, La Fuente's. When I go there, we get the pollo cheese dip. So so it's like rice and chicken with the cheese dip poured on it, and then we add chorizo. Man, that's delicious. And it's actually enough. We just get one of those and we split it, because they used to have a kids pollo one, and we would each get that. Like, the kids got it, so I'm like, man, that's all I want to eat anyway. So we started getting that. Guess what? They don't have the kids deal anymore. So you got to get a full one. So we just split it, and we actually. The last time we ate there, we split it, and we still, there was enough I brought home for leftovers, and I ate it like the next day. So La Fuente's is not that expensive. I mean, if you go in there and overload on your chips and salsa, you each get some big meal. You only eat if you eat half, and then you take it home, and then it ends up going bad because nobody eats it fast enough, kind of deal. Then yeah, it's pretty expensive, but you guys know the deal. Oh, you guys do not want to see a live Chipotle video when we go there. Like, so they just opened up this is why though too. They just opened up a Chipotle up the road. So like, I don't even have to cross the highway. I can just go up side street, another side street. I'm pretty much at Chipotle. Okay. So they were in there training new people, and it is ridiculous. There's this girl works there, poor girl. Olivia's making fun of her because it wasn't that she was making fun of her. She's just repeating what she was saying, because this girl's annoying. When I go to Chipotle, I want them to ask me what I want, and I'll tell them I want a bowl to go. I want them to get the bowl, an aluminum cover they put under it, gathered up before they ask me what color rice, right? What type. Do I want the white or brown? I call one rice and the other dirty rice. I used to get dirty rice, but it's got a chunkier taste and texture to it. So anyway, they're training them to, they're asking too many questions before you even tell them the first or second thing, and that's just how they end up getting crap mixed up. So anyway, the one girl they're training is down by the salsa. She goes, what do you want on this? And you just say something, like you say mild, medium, or hot sauce. And before she's even spooning it, her mouth starts going before her hand. Anything else? And you're like, and whatever. And before anything happens, she may not even have the first thing on. Anything else? And you're like, oh my God, slow down, Karen. This is getting ridiculous. One of those kind of things. So Olivia is literally going, anything else? Anything else? And I'm like, oh my God, Chipotle. Yeah, Chipotle. The best one, there was one in on the edge of Raytown, Kansas City, or Raytown Independence, but there had this chick that was the manager there, and she just, I don't know, that Chipotle, it just seemed like they never questioned anything, and they just kind of had it, working right. There's this other one over by Whataburger that was our next closest one where we live now, and that one's just, they're like snotty young tightwads. And it's it's not coming out of your paycheck, just Like, can you give me a little more corn? Like, I saw you shake off, like, I saw you grab the scoop, and it's the amount of corn I wanted, but then you did this, and it, like, shook it down about half of what was on there, and then I'm going to ask you for another corn, right? So, you should have just put what the spoon gave. So, anyway. But, yeah, the Chipotle's good. We got little issues at Chipotle every once in a while. You guys got Chipotle by your guys' houses? I love Chipotle. My favorite place, though, well, and then when I go to see Noah, like there's an RC track out in Blue Springs, Missouri. That's where Noah races and stuff. So if I'm going out that way, I'll stop back by at Popeyes. There's Popeyes there on the way. And I could drive there, right? It's not that far away. But I just feel like I can't pass Popeyes without stopping and getting just a dozen of and I get half and half, like half boneless and half not, because there's just something about chicken that's not like this crazy made into a little nugget that just tastes better when it's on the bone. But I feel you don't get as much, so I get like a 6 and 6 of each in the basically a sweet and spicy is my favorite type of, almost any type of that sauce that if they've got a sweet and spicy version at any places you go, that's the favorite that I like. But anyway, I'll stop and get just that. I don't get nothing else, just 12 of them. And yeah, I get that. I used to get it once a week. I'd always go out there on a Wednesday night and I'd stop and get Tuesday Chipotle, Wednesday Popeyes, and I do like their red beans and rice too. Back in the day, KFC, when they were on their Wing Street thing, when they first started, they had like 3 flavors you could get, and their middle one was that reddish type, and it was like a sweet and spicy. Man, I love that. It was my favorite, but they did away with it, right? All right, guys, we've talked enough about food. If you guys want to know some of the recipes on the best food around, they claim Kansas City's got the best barbecue. Arthur Bryant's, Jack Stack, and a lot of them. But there was this little place. Hardee's shut down, and it's not too far from, if you guys remember the old Blue Ridge Mall before they demolished it. Now it's a Walmart. But right over by there, it's where I-70 and 40 Highway cross. There was a little place called Benny's Barbecue, and man, they had the best burnt ends. And unfortunately, I was like, let's go to Benny's, because like it was never packed. There was hardly never anybody there. Delicious food, and it shut down. We figured it would. Like it I think it lasted a year or two, but man, they had the best burn ends, better than any of these other fancier places you might go to. But that's the way some stuff goes. All right, guys, I'm out for serious this time. I'm gone. Don't rush the bonsai bowl. Well, let me videotape first of all in there. I guess I just put the chesty on and hit record, and not even act like I'm doing anything, and be like, oh, that's on. Oh, I'm sorry, I was out fishing, and I didn't even realize it. Wore my battery down. Come up with something, but no, my luck, I'd show up there and that the one people have been talking about wouldn't even be there. But there's absolutely this one girl, and nothing against blondes, but there's this blonde chick there. Man, she is the best at her job, because she's probably not listening to anything they tell her to do. She loads my bowl up. It's like 2 big scoops of rice. Oh, you want beans? Boom, big scoop of beans. Oh, you want that honey chipotle chicken? It's heaping. Boom, there you go. Hands it down. I'm like, that's the way you load up burrito bowl. And then you get to anything else? Anything else? And I'm like, would you let her finish my bowl entirely? Like, would you just step back and let this lady over here take care of it for you? Is what I feel like telling them. But then they got a dude there now. He's pretty good too. He's just like, whatever, dude. Whatever, bro. Let me get this for you. Because you go in there and they're like, I'm serious. They must train them, because they got this shake they use, and they're like, and it doesn't even have. It's like just level spoon, 2 things of rice. I'm like, can you get some more rice? I have to charge you extra for that. I'm like, well, how about if you give me? I said, so this is a true story. We go in there, and Olivia she got on a kick, no rice, right? She's like watching her weight or something. She's like, I'm not getting rice or beans. So she would literally get meat and then some of the, stuff on it and lettuce and all that. It was almost like a salad with meat, like a, what do they call that? Chef salad or something. Anyway, I'm buying the burrito bowls. She's in front of me. No rice, no beans. I go up, and this is before they started like the crazy charging. So I was like, yeah, white rice. Puts like two flimsy. I'm like, can I get some more? I'm gonna have to charge you for that. I said, tell you what, the rice you were gonna put on her bowl, put on my bowl because I'm paying for that bowl too. Well, I don't know. I said, well, go get a manager or whatever it takes because we need to get her rice in my bowl without an extra charge because I'm paying for both. And it was like, I know. I'm telling you guys, I've done this before. The manager comes up, oh yeah, there's no problem with that. I'm like, oh, thank you. So, but then now Olivia gets rice in hers too. But it was just like, you got to be kidding me. I'm not paying you extra for another scoop of rice when I just lost out at 2 scoops that she's not getting because you don't take nothing off. Go up there and you show me where if you don't get beans and rice, they take money off of that burrito bowl. So, yeah, got you there, Chipotle. All right, guys, seriously, I'm out. Enough Chipotle talk. You guys make me want to go get Chipotle right now. Break out the fireball, make it a party. No. I got to get to bed. I got to get up at 4:30 a.m. Did I mention that? I get up at 4:30 a.m. for my real job. This is just a hobby. Bass and Bonsai. Coming to a honey hole near you at some point, but we got to get some money first because this is just a hobby and it does not pay the bills. Especially, you see all these baits I got? Does not. See you guys later. I got to go.